Um, you know, I can go on a little bit more, but I want to, share my floor with my sisters in my village as well. But I just want you ladies to know it is okay if you don't know who you are. For a long time, I didn't know who I was. Again, for a long time, I chose a life that wasn't built for me. If it was dancing, I'm okay with being transparent with that and not hiding it no more. Because again, that was a part of my life that made me, become more resilient and made me become more into who Takesha is. For a long time, I was, is that T? Is that T who? Who is T? But now I know who is Takesha because I love Takesha every day. I look in that mirror every day and tell myself, I'm proud of you. I love you. And I get emotional because going through so much and knowing how much I can look back and say, damn, that was you back then. And this is you now. So again, I love myself, and I want all of you guys to love yourself. Look in the mirror every day without makeup, without your hair done, without doing our eyebrows, anything. Our hair can be a mess, everything. And look at ourselves and say, I'm that bitch. And nobody can tell me different. I'm who I am and I walk in purpose. I don't care if, again, I'm working on me every day and walking into my destiny, but I'm still that bitch. And I'm going to be that bitch and nobody can ever validate and tell me I'm any different. So, love yourself, worship yourself, hug on yourself, put more affectionate within yourself instead of giving it to somebody else. Because again, nobody going to love you more than you can love yourself. And that's, again, a lot of women looking to men for love, because I did that because of the absence of my father. I was very promiscuous at a young age because I didn't have that love that I wanted from my father. So I feel like I needed it from other men, but no man can give me the love that I can give myself. And I have a child. So I have to love myself more so I can give that love for my child and make sure that my child can trust in me if he's going through anything that I have dealt with that I was too afraid, to even tell. Like, again, in Women Trapped in Insecurities, a lot of people will learn that I was molested. I've been through a lot of stuff and my parents didn't know. A self-accountability that I took also, within our last group that, in my Women Trapped in Insecurities, my second group, I had invited my mother and I was able to tell my mother some things, and just tell her how I feel, how voided she made me feel, that I don't feel love from her, that I want a better relationship with her. And again, that also made me feel more love within myself because now I know I have that connection with my mom that I missed out on so long. So again, it's important to define yourself. If you don't know who you are, that's okay, but you can still love yourself. You can still affirm to yourself, if your affirmation is just telling yourself that I am beautiful, that I am worthy, that, that I may not be victorious right now, but I'm going to be victorious. That's all a part of self-love. And I just want people to understand, it's okay to, again, not know who you are, but don't fabricate yourself to be something that you're not. A lot of people do that. They pretend to be something that they're not. And again, that is a part of disconnection of self-love. So, I always tell people, no matter if I don't know them or not, because life is short, I don't know you guys, but I love you. And again, this is a month of self-love. We are sisters. My mission of Women Trapped in Insecurities is winning together is iconic because I feel like it's not enough of that. A lot of people are for their self. Just like, Shamika said, I'm selfish, but again, she's collaborating with, because she knows that, her village is also building a bond with other women villages, that has gone through the same situations that she's going through. So, we can be selfish in certain ways, but it's also important to, build another sister up. What I want for myself is what I want for anybody. So I thank you ladies for just giving me the space. I don't know you, but I still love you. You are my sister. And I just pray that everyone, find that love within their self, believe in their self, commit to their self, affirm within their self, and know that you are victorious and that, it might not be your time right now, but God does never give up. And he gives, the toughest battles to the strongest warriors.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. So many things I had wrote down because I ain't come with a speech today, but I got some things to say. All right, so what we're going to do next is I want to open the room up for everybody to introduce themselves, and just let us know why you are here today to talk about self-love or self-esteem. It could be because you came to inspire or motivate somebody else. It can be because you are struggling with something in that moment, in this moment, and you can share what that moment is, just so we can kind of give everybody a space to have voice, because I am a strong believer in when you put it out there, that's when you start to work on it and start to tap on it. And then after that, we're going to turn the floor over to one of our guest speakers for the night, Raina, from Brown Girl Space. And then we'll continue with the program. So who would like to go first to introduce themselves? Or matter of fact, we'll just go across the room. So I'm going to go with Chanel. Chanel, if you can introduce yourself, because you're at the top of my screen, and let us know why you came to join the Unstuck series this month to talk about self-love and self-esteem and where you're at, just like when you think of those two words.
Okay, well, my name is Chanel McCray. I'm the owner of Queen Mother's Delights. I am here because it was very important for me to be in this meeting right now. I don't know what the other ones are going to consist of, but I needed to be here tonight because I deal with and I know a lot of people in general deal with the same thing. A lot of people see me, and a lot of people that know me to be that strong Black woman, with the smile always, but falling apart on the inside. And I tell myself all the time, self-love is the best love, is the greatest love. And I say it over and over again. And I believe I say it as much as I do because it's not that I don't believe it, but I'm really not acting in it as I should. I know mental health is very important, and I am struggling because of a lot of things that I've been through. Just to touch on a little bit, I went through 16 years of mental and verbal abuse in a marriage, and it still has an effect on me. I tell myself that I'm beautiful. I tell myself, that I'm strong. I'm more than capable of doing whatever it is I want to do. But when I'm by myself and I'm in my thoughts alone, I realize I deal with those same feelings and emotions that I've went through in that marriage. I also, realize that I do have mommy and daddy issues. I realized that the love that I sought from men was because I lacked in that relationship with my father. He was a very important part of my life because he's the one who raised me, but he was a financial father. So I didn't have that father daughter, hugging, baby girl, everything is going to be okay type of love. It was, I got in trouble and my father didn't know no better, and he took me shopping because he didn't know. So I understand that he did his best, but in the same time, I realized that the lack thereof causes me to be in a lot of the spaces that I am today. The same thing with, my mom. She wasn't around, so I realized the things that I went through growing up, and even now, a lot of things based from that as well, so I am just working on me mentally, trying to love on myself more, not say it, but really do it and believe, the things that I say. So, I mean, to sum it up, that's basically it right now.
Well, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. All right. I'm gonna go Larisha. Larisha.
Hold on. Call on somebody else because my son just came in and it's kind of loud. So give me a
Okay.
minute to get upstairs.
Um,
Okay.
Sharonda, are you there? I don't know. I know Sharonda was having some difficulties as well. Charlene, if you can unmute yourself, introduce yourself, and let us know why you are joining the Unstuck Series conversation around self-love and self-esteem.
Hey ladies, I'm at a birthday party, but you know I'm newsy. I want to join in. I want to support. I'm sitting at the bar. Self-love is everything. We talked about this on Sunday in our little group. Just going to, get a massage, get your hair done, taking time for yourself, and just loving you. Because if you don't love you, nobody else is going to love you. Um, it's it's stressful too. So if you're not loving yourself, I just think it could be very stressful. You can't even love somebody else if you ain't loving yourself right now. That's just like totally what it is. But I think it comes with depression too. You know what I mean? So depression comes along with it too. So I'm just learning how to pray and take day by day. But that's all. I know I got background audio, but I was so hyped because I missed you. I ain't seen you in all 2 weeks.
Look, that's why this conversation, wait until I share it. It's necessary. And Takesha, I think she was trying to tug on my struggles right now. But I appreciate you even for loving yourself to tap in where you're at, to even just sit in the conversation. Those moments are necessary. That's self-love right there, to be able to be in that space, but also join in on this conversation for yourself. So shout out to you for just being here tonight. We appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. And everybody, I'm gonna stay on, but just know that self-love is like really, really important. I know we talk about it in our Sunday night groups or whatever, but I also think like if you're depressed right now, like you got to talk about it. You can't hold some things in because it's making it people be more suicidal than you can even think, or them having like different attitudes. So
Yes. All right, Sheree, you're next. Hey, sis.
Hi. How are you ladies tonight? So, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay. So, I'm actually learning this year about self-love. So a little bit about my background. I was physically, mentally, and verbally abused, both by like childhood trauma and also like my past relationship. I just got a 12-year relationship like 2 years ago. So I'm actually just learning about self-love. I would say, just like Charlene was saying about self-care, about getting your hair done, your nails done. It does make a difference. It makes you feel better. Also about just loving who I am, because I used to have self-esteem problems, still do a little bit, but not as bad. I used to always wonder like why people would leave, or I'm a nice person. Why is, this is happening to me? Do I look beautiful? Why can't I keep a relationship? But I look at it like, I put God first and then he just makes everything better. That's what I learned this year. So yeah, basically the same. I'm still learning, still growing. I feel so much better than I did, you know, years ago. From years ago to now, I have so much growth. Um, just like this Valentine's Day, me and my girlfriends, we're gonna get dressed up nice, we're gonna go out to dinner. So I'm like, I never did that before. I'm like, okay. So it's gonna be a nice time and I can't wait. I'm excited about that. And just going day by day, mentally, physically, and emotionally, and spiritually.
Yes, it's important. And listen, so many of us are just learning. And that's why I had to throw that self-esteem in there, because I know when we were younger, we talked about self-esteem. You know, you probably heard about it in school, but as we got older and it wasn't so much in the conversation. And now we're learning more about self-love and what it looks like to take care of ourselves, but also just tugging on that self-esteem part. Sharonda said her audio is not working, so it won't allow her to speak, but she is here and she appreciates all of us being open and honest. So next is Jayla.
Okay. I don't want to cry. I got my box of tissues ready though, so just bear with me. But I was actually introduced to the Unstuck series by my sister Chanel, my sister in Islam, and she's more like a mother though. But anywho, and I had been trying to get into this group or series for a while now, and it's just so ironic that I happened to check my email today. And I was like, oh, I got the Zoom link. And not even know, I don't even think I realized at the time what today's discussion was going to entail. But I'm just so grateful to even just be here because I've really been struggling in a lot of different areas. For the longest, I thought I loved myself like so much because I don't know. I've been told that I was like conceited and all of that, all things that people say about women. And, I've always kept myself up. I've always loved to dress and just, a lot of different things. So I always thought that I loved myself until me and my daughter's father went our separate ways after being together for 5 years. It's not a whole lot of time, but it's enough time to, be hurt, and in that situation is where I really learned about myself and that for the longest I was dependent on his love for me. And when he wasn't giving me, he stopped, because I mean it was great at first, but he stopped giving me the love that I needed from him. And because I yearned for it so desperately, it seemed like it was like pulling us further apart. And it was like no matter what I did, it just, just kept going downhill. Um, I also, saying all that to say, I think that I kind of suffer with self-esteem issues. You know, I guess little things have contributed to it over time. Just for example, weight gain after having a baby. Another little small thing relating to the relationship. Me gaining weight, giving him his first child. I'm like, okay, I'll get the weight off, whatever the case may be. Didn't happen the way I thought it would, and men are visual. Still was turning them off the whole time. And I just thought like, okay, I'm struggling with this, and that's where I really started to realize like, regardless of how he feels, regardless of what he says, regardless of what other people say, you have to love on yourself enough. And I feel like I give great advice to other people when it comes to encouraging yourself and lifting yourself up and all of these different things. And I've just really, really, really been struggling with taking my own advice. Never in a million years would I have thought that I would be where I am currently. I just feel like I'm stuck. I'm on an emotional roller coaster every single day of my life. And I just feel like I'm fighting by myself. I cry all the time sometimes for no reason. I don't feel like being bothered. It's just the list goes on. And saying all that to say, I know that it's the reason why I'm here. I know it's the reason why out of all the other things I could have been doing, I chose to even skip dinner, skip being with my family so that I could be here and talk to you ladies. And it's just been hard, but hopefully I can get through it.
Can I say something real quick to Jayla? That's your name, right? Jayla?
Yes, ma'am.
So, and not just to Jayla, just to, all of us again, that, allow us to put fear, again, allow us to feel though that we need somebody to love us. We have power. And I think a lot of us don't know our power. Us as women, we are powerful people. And again, like the statement say, us women, we make the world go round. I feel though that sometimes we lose our power because we don't know our will. You got willpower. Use it. You might not know how to use it, but that's where you have to pray. You have to evaluate yourself, evaluate your surroundings, think of the people that don't deserve to be in your in your space. If that man, of a man that don't deserve to be in your space, whoever that doesn't deserve to be in your space, that's the only way that you want to grow. That's the only way we all going to grow. If we allow only purposeful people to be in our space, if people are not purposeful, we're not going to grow. We're going to continue to deter away from our main focus. We have to use our willpower. And I think it's easier said to be done. Like, anybody could say, use their power. Anybody can say, go chase that goal, go chase that dream. But in order to learn how to do it, you have to really evaluate yourself. Know that, what. So the thing that a lot of things, something that I've been working on lately for myself, because again, you know, I say I do things, I say I'm going to do things and I don't do it. Um, so a lot of things that I've been working on is writing things down. So lately I've been writing my fears down. I have fears of women trapped in insecurities. I know what I want with women trapped in insecurities. I know where I can head to with women trapped in insecurities, but I have those fears. So now lately I've been writing those fears down and challenging them fears as far as in, that's not going to happen because I'm affirming my fears. So now I just think that that's an activity that, with a part of our self-love and growing within our self-love, write down your fears. If it's 5, 3, 4, 10, 15, however many fears that you have, challenge those fears with affirmations. Again, affirmations don't have to be something strong. It's just something that you believe in yourself. So I think that's something that we need to do, but we also have to learn our power, and we also have to learn our will and just take that grace and use it. So that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. Larisha also said you have to speak it into existence and it will get better. Thank you, Larisha. All right, so we still have Unwim and Sam that just joined, but what we're going to do is turn it over to Raina, and then I will have you two ladies answer the question before Shamika goes. So Raina, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Hi, good evening, ladies. I'm Raina. Um, so I'm just thankful to be here in this space. And as I'm listening to each of you talk, it just feels so aligned. And just what I wanted to share with you tonight. I feel like the first time that I thought about self-love as an adult was after being able to get out of an abusive relationship. And I kept hearing things like, well, you don't love yourself, or you can't possibly love yourself. And when I kept hearing that, it bothered me because I'm like, I do love myself, just because I was in this situation or, whatever was going on at that time of my life, it didn't mean that I didn't love myself. So what I wanted to share tonight was firstly that I want to challenge the notion that we don't love ourselves. Like that just doesn't exist. I feel that inherently we all love ourselves, but we have different experiences. Just as each of you has shared, stuff stemming from parents, stuff stemming from abusive relationships, stuff just stemming from different parts of our lives. We have different experiences that we go through that shape how we feel about ourselves, that shape how we show up for ourselves. And this is where it comes in that sometimes we can't fight this battle by ourselves. We can't. Sometimes we need to contact somebody that can help get in the ring with us. And that may mean that we may need to access different resources. So that could be coming into a space like this. There is healing in sisterhood when we start to talk about the things that we've been through, the things that we want to overcome. the other night when I was talking with Taja, and she was like, well, what do you want to bring into this space? I wanted to bring into this space being able for us to, when we talk about self-love, being able to talk about mental health as well. And a lot of you ladies have already talked about that, how loving yourself, how sometimes that impacts your mental health, how sometimes there's these other factors and things going on in your life that may be impacting your ability to love yourself. And I want to encourage you, if that's you, it's okay to get help for that. That may mean that you may need to talk to somebody, be on somebody's couch. I know there's a lot of, sometimes there's shame, there's stigma around that, but that's okay. Because when people were telling me, oh, well, you couldn't possibly have loved yourself because you allow X, Y, and Z, I went to sit on somebody's couch. I wanted to talk through it. I knew that I did love myself, but I needed to talk to somebody else to help me process the thoughts that I was having, to shut all those voices out that I kept hearing that I didn't love myself. I did love myself. I love myself enough to leave that situation. I love myself enough to start to make better decisions for myself. So I am not a very long-winded person, but I wanted to just share that with you ladies. And, you know, I'm open to continue sharing some thoughts that I'm having as each of you talk. But I just wanted to drop that in this space for now and, you know, see where the conversation goes from there.
That was powerful and necessary. I think even with the notion of you know, just talking about how we do love ourselves, and we all have different experiences and we all go through different moments. But before I even go into my whole spiel, when are you able to unmute yourself? You did share in the chat, but we did want to allow you to introduce yourself to the group, and let us know why did you join the Unstuck series.
Hi. I spoke a little bit earlier. Sorry, I had to slip out. My phone died and I couldn't get back in. But I well, like I shared in the chat, I won't read all of that, but I'm a recovery coach and I work with women a lot. And my journey began several years ago because I was working through anger. There was a lot going on within my marriage. Again, some of that I mentioned in the comment. I have kid ears in the room, so I'm trying to be somewhat vague. But most recently, I am finding that I guess I'm feeling frustrated with where I am right now and the things that I'm beginning to do right now, because I spent 18 years in a very toxic, very patriarchal church that basically only gave me the option of being a mom, being at home, and all of me was stuffed, silenced, and shut in a box and tucked that thing in the closet somewhere because there was not space for me. And so, praising God, my marriage is doing beautifully. We are healing wonderfully. It has been years that we have been down this path. And so we're not anywhere near where we were before. And we are most certainly not at that church anymore. But I am still a stay-at-home mom. Granted, I am running 2 businesses from home right now, so I'm definitely making those moves. But but you know, I don't know. I get frustrated sometimes because the things that I'm starting right now, I wish I had been doing, 15 years ago. And so but yeah, so when I heard about this, I was like, I think I would like to be in a space where I can chew on this for a minute and work this thing out. Because like I said, I'm making the moves, I'm doing the things, but that frustration is still there because that's still 15 years or 18 years that I wasn't doing what I wanted to be doing. So that's why I joined. And thank you for having me.
No, God, thank you for being here. God put all of y'all in the room for a reason, and I just can't wait till it's my turn to talk. All right, Sam, can you introduce yourself and just share, if you're able to, why did you want to join the Unstuck series today to talk about self-love and self-esteem?
Yes. So my name is Sam Knight. I am a mental health therapist. I joined the group for one. I've never been a part of a group, so I feel like, especially for us Black women, we just need each other, and so I just felt like I needed a space like this to grow more. Yeah, that's why I joined.
Where are you at with tapping into self-love and self-esteem, or where are you struggling at with self-love and self-esteem?
I can be really self-critical. So I think just really being gentle with myself and like not letting the words of other people kind of like control my day. I had a situation at work a few weeks ago where a coworker had kind of came at my time management, and it just really like I was just down after that. I was just like feeling like a failure and just feeling like but then obviously I was able to pull myself back. Like, I am powerful. I'm running a business. I'm raising 3 children, and I work 2 jobs outside of running a business. The business that I run, I'm currently, doing 6 different roles in that business. And so I was just like, I had to tell myself, this girl doesn't even know who she is sharing a space with right now. This is another person who is trying to bring me down in a moment when I'm trying to break through. And it was just really that positive self-talk that was able to bring me back. But the part was, why did I even let her take me there? Right. And so that's where I'm at with like the self-esteem and the self-love. Like, people's words against me, they don't hold value unless I give them that power. And so that's where I'm at with it. I just need to know my truth, walk in it, live it, own it. And I'm powerful. And I know that is my truth. And so this is a person working for a company that she can't even excel in, right? So why am I letting a person, when I'm the program director at the business that I own? So it's just like, and I'm writing the book, right? And so it was just like, why am I letting this person make me feel a certain type of way about myself? It just didn't make sense to me. And so it put me in a place like, okay, I see I'm still struggling with this. And so it was just a good reminder that I got some work to do.
Yes, talk that shit. Remind yourself and talk that shit, sis. I love it. Yes. Hold on. Let me remind myself what's really going on. Because you be stuck for a minute. They be having you all down and out. You be able to remind yourself, hold the fuck up. Excuse my language, but that's how it be when I'm talking to them. Hold up. Why am I even feeling like that? That was a little bit of self-accountability. All right, maybe I do got to work on my time management. But hold the God. I love it. Tia was also one of our guests to start off the Unstuck series. I appreciate seeing so much amongst the village. So she was a part of the panel last month to talk about self-accountability. So I appreciate you amongst the sisterhood. Larisha, were you able to share why you joined? Are you able to share?
Yeah, I can. Go ahead up, Jake.
All right.
Go, bye. In the bathroom. All right, well, go wait for her. See. So I am my name, and I attend. What is it called? I just be coming to stuff. I have a lot of free time now. I'm off from work at the moment. But I actually have really been getting a lot of things out of these different groups that I've been participating in. Takesha's group. So I came because we were reminded. I've been signed up for this, but it typically doesn't work well with the schedule that I don't have because I don't have anything going on right now. But it just is a lot going on typically in the evening hours with my children. So I came, the topic was self-love, and I don't really feel, I'm actually in the process of doing a moral inventory of my life. I had recently in November was involved in an isolated domestic violence situation, which is the reason why I'm off from work right now. And from that, I said I need to do a moral inventory because I can't remember who the other lady is that spoke. The one that I commented about speaking it into existence. I kind of like can relate a lot to her just with feeling that in my life, I've been so successful. So I feel that when it comes to self-love and self-esteem, I'm all the way there. But then when I do a moral inventory and just think of things that I've encountered throughout my life, it's like, is it, am I there the way that I think I'm there, or am I partially there? Or is it a situation that I have such high self-esteem that I overlook the self-love? Because in a lot of situations, you wouldn't even allow yourself to be in different situations if if you fully loved yourself. So that's where I am now with my life, of just reevaluating the decisions that I make, because I'm a person that likes to help other people. So therefore, I kind of like put myself on a back burner for others. And I feel that that could contribute to a lot of the issues that I encounter in life, which means that I'm putting other people before I put myself. And really, I should only be doing it for my children, and of course my family, but not the family that take you for granted. But I don't have that type of family. Like, I have a really, really supportive family. So it's not a situation of me feeling that any of my family members take me for granted. But then to a certain extent, it's like when I overexert myself, I don't feel that I try to buy people or anything of that nature, because it's not anything that I expect in return, but it's still me putting myself on the line or myself on hold for other people. So then it's like, what is it that I'm getting out of there? Or is it because I care more for other people, than I do care for myself? So that was a part of the reason why I said, I was going to join in, just to hear, because you get insight from other people. It's all a learning experience. And that's why I'm here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing. AJ, I did see that you just joined, but what we're going to do is we're going to turn it over to Shamika Baptist, the founder of The Strength Within, to share her speech for tonight. And then after Shamika, we have Coach Vaughn in the building. So I'll have AJ share, and then I'll have Coach Vaughn take over, okay? So go ahead, Shamika, you have the floor.
Hey y'all, so I started getting into my little spiel earlier. What self-love means to me is owning who we are, right? Accepting who we are, loving who we are, not putting labels on who we are, acknowledging it for what it is, loving us for what it is and who we are, right? So listen, Uwame, I am, if you need to, this is a disclosure. You need to go into a private room, because when I talk, we're going to talk about it. And I might get so intense, and we're going to own our truth when I speak. So if you need to go in another room, this is just a disclosure. Uwame, go in another room real quick, because we're about to talk about it. So we speak about labels, right? And a part of self-love is being unapologetically me, right? A part of me loving myself and boosting my self-esteem and finding the strength within is understanding who I am, right? Some people like to say, like Takesha said, she was promiscuous. I like to call it what it is. I'm a retired hoe, okay? I had my fun back in the day, and that's what it is. And I did what I did. I wasn't promiscuous. I'm a retired hoe. At 35 years old, that's what it is. When it comes to mommy and daddy issues, I had the brokenness, but I acted upon what I acted upon. But who cares? A part of me says, you know what? At 35, Mika, you loved yourself, you had fun, and it is what it is. It doesn't take away who I am, right? A part of me having self-love and finding the strength within is understanding my truth, right? Jayla, you said that man wanted to walk away because of the weight. Girl, you know how many men would love you with your fluffiness and your weight? You know how many men don't want to love me because I ain't thick enough? Girl, for that man, that one man who doesn't love you, there are a bajillion men that would love to hug on you and love you, girl, but they ain't gonna do it if you don't love yourself. You gotta love who you are. You have to own your truth. And what we have to understand is for every negative, there is a positive, right? And a part of having self-love to me means finding the strength within to understand who I am. Understanding that for every negative, there is a positive. When we put labels on stuff, right, it transforms our mentality. When we put labels on stuff and when we look about our weight and we look about our exteriors or we look at ourselves with the material things, right, that's putting a label on our value. But when it comes to self-love, baby, you are priceless. No one's thought of you means anything. No one's opinion of you means anything. At 35, I am single. And people do not understand this is a choice at this point in time. I am divorced. I have been divorced for some years now, but I choose to be alone. I don't have to be alone, but because I love myself enough, right? I understand my truth. I own my truth. I know who I am. The opinions of others doesn't matter. I found the strength in me to understand that, Mika, you gotta love you. If I don't love myself enough, I can't expect a man or a woman to love me. A part of my journey and a part of my story is I come from the foster care system. I grew up in foster care and group homes. I also was adopted at one point in time, and that was an abusive situation. And I went back into foster care. And for me, okay, you talk about brokenness, right? You talk about not having an idea of self-identity. I had to learn that, right? From everything that I endured, I had to love on me because my journey and my truth, the reality of what I had to realize is nobody was coming back for me. Nobody was gonna love me unless I loved myself. I had to hold me down. You understand? A part of self-love and a part of finding the strength within is holding it down. Whether somebody doesn't love you, you gotta love you. Right? There is somebody out here who will love you for your weight, for your mind, for your spirit, for everything. But if you don't love yourself, you gotta hold the standard, right? And when we hold that standard, of self-accountability, when we hold that standard of self-love, when we hold that standard of finding the strength within, we give nobody a choice but to meet that standard. So for me, personally, I don't like labels. I don't do the labels on anything. I don't care if you like me, if you don't like me. A part of owning ourselves and a part of having self-love is owning our truth, acknowledging our truth, and accepting it for what it is. Okay? Like I said, I like to laugh about shit. For every negative, it's a positive. I wasn't promiscuous, I was a hoe. Who cares? We're going to call it for what it is. And that is what it is. I'm not going to sit here and say some other shit. Like, no. I love myself enough to know, like, yo, this is what it was. And who cares? You know, that's me loving on me. Like, I gotta laugh about certain stuff. Like, I'm not taking away from anything y'all are feeling or anything, but you know, for every man that didn't love me because I was too skinny, fuck you. I'm popping. Like, stop it. Like, I look in the mirror, like, stop. Like, I'm think you can't tell me nothing. Like, and that is what it is. Like, you don't like my skinny ass, but somebody out here likes my skinny ass. Like, I don't care. So it's like accepting that part, like a part of all of it, like self-accountability, self-love, self-esteem. It comes hand in hand, and like it's just owning your truth, acknowledging your truth. Don't put a label on yourself, because when you label yourself, that gives the world the opportunity to label you. And at the end of the day, like I say, this is your world. We just come to visit. Like, this is my world. Y'all just come to visit. So in my world, if I say I used to be a hoe, I used to be a hoe. I don't care what you have to say about me, because it is what it is. In my world, if I'm thick, I'm thick. And I don't care what you have to say. In my world, I might be crazy, but this is my world. And y'all just come to visit, right? When we come to have interactions like this in spaces like this, we have to understand we're just visiting each other's worlds, right? That's all we're doing. We're just colliding and blending with each other's worlds. But when we separate and leave each other's worlds, what do we take from it, right? What I challenge y'all to do is, I want to challenge y'all for your mental, right? The first challenge I have for you is to think about this. Whose world is this? Is it your world, or are you just living in somebody else's world? Because see, this is my world and y'all just come to visit. So nothing phases me. I don't care. I own my truth. I acknowledge my truth. I had to own my truth at a very young age, and it just was what it was. So I laugh at about a lot of things. I had to learn that for every negative, there is a positive, and it is what it is, right? For some men don't want to deal with me because I don't do oral. Who cares? I have trauma. I'm not adjusting to you because this is my world and you just come to visit. And if you don't fit in my world, you got to get the hell on out. And that is what it is. When it comes to owning our truth, if you don't like my weight, Jayla, he don't like your weight, yo, get on through. I don't care, bruh. I don't care how much love you. When I tell you my marriage, it was hard, right? But then, and I held on to it for a long time, but then I had to realize, yo, I'm the fucking shit. Like, you don't even realize what you have. And guess what? That man has been in ruins ever since I left. Jayla, guess what? You over here crying his stuff. Well, he's celebrating his glorious life. Guess what? There will come a day when that man will cry. He's not going to cry until you understand who you are. He's not going to cry until you understand your self-worth. Amen. And that's sometimes where we teach people how to treat us. If you're not standing in your truth and you're not owning your truth, you can't expect somebody to take you serious. Let me tell you something. My ex-husband got real mad. You hear me? When I started my glow up, that's when he got mad. Because guess what? You can't touch this. No. What? So yeah, what we saying? Listen, y'all, I be in my own world over here, like, and like I tell everybody, if I could do it, y'all could do it too. We not worried about the negatives, okay? They talked about Jesus Christ. You think I'm worried about what somebody has to say about me? Because a man does not validate me. A woman does not validate me. Who validates me is me. You understand? So who cares if he left? Or who cares if she left? Who cares? You didn't deserve me, right? You didn't deserve the person that I am. And that is what it is. Weight and all, beauty and all, trauma and all, scars and all. So when we talk about finding the strength within, it speaks about loving ourselves. But you have to believe who you are. You have to believe in what you're worth. You have to believe in yourself. Like I tell my son, you can't expect me to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. My son asked me, Mommy, after everything everybody said, how you get the house? I said, baby, because I believed in myself. So we had a conversation a couple months ago, and he had an epiphany, and it had to do with school. And he said to me, Mom, now I know what you mean when you say you believed in yourself. He had a moment at 11 years old, right? Self-love comes from finding the strength within, of owning your truth, acknowledging your truth, and understanding it's okay. Okay? We are grown women at this point in time in our lives. It's okay. The trauma is okay. The molestation is okay. The verbal, the mental, the physical abuse, it's okay. Turn that negative into a positive and love yourself enough to say, I'm a bad motherfucker for going through that shit. I'm a bad motherfucker for tolerating your bullshit. I'm a bad motherfucker because I went through it and I conquered it. Okay? It takes a bad motherfucker to tolerate some bullshit. Okay? Especially on the level of bullshit that tries to break us down. Okay? So when you can overcome a situation that tries to break you down to where you don't love yourself, but you find the strength within to walk the fuck away and say, fuck you, that's when you love yourself enough. That's when you found the self-love. That's when you found that strength. That's when you took self-accountability to get unstuck. You understand? So for me, getting unstuck, finding self-love, taking self-accountability, finding the strength that all ties within, right? But it starts with our mental. And let me tell you something. If you believe you can do it, you will do it. Do you understand me? If you say you can do it, you can do it. You got to believe it. If you believe in yourself, you will do it, you will achieve it, and it will happen. But if you don't have enough mental power, enough mental strength to say, this is what I'm worth, this is what I'm capable of, you're going to stay stuck. I'm proud of each and every last one of you tonight because you showed up and you showed out. I know you're laughing at my crazy ass. Like, this girl probably crazy, but guess what? This is my world and y'all just come to visit. So at the end of the day, you know, like, I love all y'all because like this is just like, I just love this. But you know, when I talk about it, we're gonna talk about it. Okay. I'm not gonna use politically correct terms. Like, I wasn't promiscuous, I was a hoe, and that's what it is. We argue, we fuss, we fight. You call me an abuser, I say I was giving you a love tap. Don't fucking play with me. And that is what it is. We argue, we fought. But at the end of the day, right? I found the strength to know who I am, to understand what I'm worth, to understand who I am supposed to be in this world. I understand my journey of life of where I'm going, right? And when we change our mental, right, we start to move different. We don't care what anyone thinks about us. We don't care of a person's judgment or an opinion. When you find that strength within to truly, truly love yourself and say, fuck you and everything you stand for to anybody, right? When we understand that this is our world and everybody just comes to visit, you're going to see your world shift. You're going to see, you're going to walk different. You're going to look at yourself different. A person's opinion of you is not going to validate you. It's not even going to bother you. Okay. You're going to look at people and just be like, yo, what the heck? Like, I had a situation the other day. This little girl at work, like, I'm a supervisor. She tried to get fresh. I'm over the phone. And I just really she tried to get combative with me. And in a calm, collected tone of voice, I told her, I am not about to go back and forth with you. I said what I had to say. When we know that we're beautiful, when we know the intellect that we have and we hold, when we know the strength that we're capable of having to stomp this motherfucking world, we're not arguing with anybody. We're not going back and forth with anybody. We said what we had to say to validate ourselves. We said what we had to say to let people know, I love me enough. I am strong enough. I'm not tolerating shit. The abuse, the neglect, the heartache, the deceit, the lies that I went through, it does not validate me. So when we shift that mentality, right? And I want to challenge y'all, for every negative thought that you have, turn it into a positive, okay? Turn it into a positive thought. That's all I want you to do. Y'all just laughed at me when I said I was a hoe. I am a retired hoe, and it is what it is. For every negative, it's a positive. Just laugh about it. Take it for what it is and laugh about it. Just laugh about this shit. Laugh about it, right? Because what we have to remember is this. Every moment that we go through is just a moment, okay? It's just a moment. We can either allow these moments to handicap us, or we can allow these moments to give us strength, right? if I allowed my fun days, okay, we're gonna call them fun. We'll call them fun so I don't keep calling myself a hoe, but it's funny. But if we allow those moments where I had my fun times, okay, if I allow those moments that I had to handicap me, I wouldn't be able to sit here and laugh about it. It'd be like, yo, this is me. This is who I am, right? I would just be trying to creep around corners with men, trying to act like I'm not a hoe. But it's like, yo, it is what it is. Like, what we doing? Like, you know what I mean? So we have to own our truth. So for every negative, there's a positive. Jayla, you spoke about your weight, baby girl. I guarantee you, as beautiful as you are, there are men looking at you. Stop it. Because I'm telling you right now, there's men that don't want anything to do with me because I'm not thick enough. Okay. So, girl, don't ever think just because he didn't want you, don't ever think that another man will not love you. But another man will not love you if you do not recognize you have to love yourself. We don't care what one day, girl. There's too many men out here, honey. And if you're in a space to where you're like, I can't find none, go out and travel somewhere. If you want to come to me, I got a whole live house. Come on. Let's come to Charlotte. Come and visit. I love company. Okay. I'll show you a good time. Okay. Love yourself. Put that out to the universe. So I want to challenge y'all, for every negative thought you have, turn it into a positive and fucking laugh about it, okay? Because always remember, this is your world and we just come to visit. So with that being said, I'm gonna turn it over to Tedra. I hope I wasn't too much. Ooh, man, I'm so sorry if I got a little PG, but when we talk about it with me, I just spit the real, okay? So I love all you ladies. I'm
You're
so
good,
proud.
sis. I got headphones. We're good.
Okay.
Good evening, Naima. Good evening. All right, so we're going to open it up for AJ. AJ, the question for tonight is introduce yourself and let us know why did you join the Unstuck series about self-love and self-esteem. You're on mute, sis.
I forgot to do that one. Great evening, everyone. So I wanted to join the series for one, where I'm at in my journey as an entrepreneur, and doing self-assessments within myself. I've learned that some of the things that went wrong as being a business owner was because I didn't love myself. I didn't have a cup that overflowed enough to do everything and be everything for everybody and still do what I needed to do as a business owner and still work my 9 to 5 and be a mom. You know, us as women, we're everything for everybody and we don't take care of ourselves. So I'm really on this self-love journey and really promoting it for small business owners and other women, just because loving yourself makes you this amazing person to all these people. My daughter now says like, oh my God, you're so pleasant to be around. You're always happy. You just living your life and loving everything. And I can remember being in a space where I was so negative, I was so mean, and I always spoke bad about everything. Oh, I don't want to go to this damn job, and just stuff. So just within the couple of years of me doing personal development and loving on myself and being by myself and learning me and teaching myself things that I used to know that I knew weren't good practices and implementing great things. And I learned that the thing that was missing that could have took my businesses over the top or propelled me was just me loving me. Just me being good with who I am, with it just me being okay with, like she said, things that have happened to me, them happening, because your story is what attracts people to you, is what gets you that sale, is what gets you the anything, because people are more attracted to you and what you went through and they connect with you. So just being okay with myself and learning myself and loving the space I am in now, I am promoting self-love to everybody. Like anybody that's listening, I'm like, hey, what you doing? Love on yourself today. Let's do self-love. I even have a self-love challenge going on currently, where daily I put up a post and I challenge people to do these things to try to implement a self-love practice in every day, so that at the end of the 14 days of the challenge, I want to know how they feel. Because just me loving on myself every day and doing just a little something for me and not nobody else has just made life amazing.
Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for all that you're doing, because again, this is the space we want to share resources. So after we leave this space, we can tap in with each other in those areas where we need more focus and more help. So thank you for joining this space. So we are going to turn it over to our other guest speaker for tonight, Life Coach Vaughn. Introduce yourself and you share your speech for tonight.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Hey there, beautiful queens. How are y'all tonight? Can y'all hear me okay? Oh, I love it. Queen Shamika, I'm honored to be going behind you. You were fire. You were everything. I'm like, yes, go, let's go. So I loved it all. I loved it all. And it lets me know, and even after hearing Queen AJ speak as well, that I am definitely in the right place. I'm not going to do a whole bunch of formalities. Y'all have my IG. She didn't tag me in a whole bunch of posts. I just want to talk to you all tonight from, from what it is that spoke most to me about this discussion. One of the things that Tasha, when she reached out to me, she was like, wow, I see right there in your bio, it says, get unstuck and fly. So I'm gonna start my timer because I want to make sure I stay in the confounds of my time because I get excited about this topic, right? Queens, if I asked you to tell me about yourself, what would you say? Probably like 95% of you'll probably be like the other women in the world, and you'll probably say, you know what? My name is, I'm a wife, I'm a mother of, I'm an owner of, my profession is, I'm the mother of, I'm the second eldest, right? We go into these whole tangents, right? But the interesting thing is, I asked you to tell me about you. Queen Mika talked about this too often. We identify and consume ourselves in roles. We lose ourselves, right? We take pride in all of these titles and these roles and responsibilities. But I'm here to serve you notice tonight that what you do is not who you are. Who you are makes you great at what you do. I'm gonna say that one more time. What you do is not who you are. Who you are makes you great at what you do. But most of us, do we truly know who we are? I love the fact that AJ brought up, hey, I need some time alone. I need to spend some time with me. By raising your hands, can y'all tell me how many moms I have on here for those that I can see you? How many moms I have, okay? How many entrepreneurs or business owners are on here? Okay, good. How about wives or even girlfriends? Or you in a situationship? Raise your hand. You okay? All right, cool. Now, what if I asked you with only using characteristics? Would you be able to raise your hand just as quickly and just as confidently with just as much clarity? Do you know who you are without your titles? I want to know, who are you at your core? When she started to tell me, well, Coach Vaughn, we're going to be talking about self-esteem and self-confidence and self-love. Your ability to answer this question and answer it correctly will help you to enhance your desire of self-love and your self-esteem and your self-confidence. Being able to answer, who am I at my core? See, when we're stripped of all these roles and all these responsibilities and all these titles, when you lose a job, when you break up with somebody, when your business fails, when you lose that best friend, who are we? Once you understand this, you'll be able to confidently embrace who you are. no matter your role, no matter your title, no, forget the responsibilities, right? Who are you? Once you know this, you'll know that once all those things are gone, that you're amazing, that you're the shit. like Queen Tamika said, right? Shamika said, right? You're still amazing. You're an overcomer. You're a conqueror. You're resilient. You're determined. And guess what? Most of all, even if you're questioning yourself about any of those things, you're still here. I want to spend just a little bit of time collaborating with you all in this beautiful, beautiful space. I love this. The energy is electric. I want to talk to you all from a blueprint that I developed and I came up with. It's the 5 pillars of Fly. And I call it first loving yourself. I'm going to focus mainly on, because of the time is short, on the first pillar, which is self-awareness. And I love the fact that I came by, because she worked y'all up for me. She hit a lot of awesome points already, right? I understand what it feels like to be everything to everybody else and little to nothing to myself. I understand what that feels like too, Queen AJ. I identified myself with roles. I was a mother, a wife, a daughter, best friend, an employee, all those things. But at the end of the day, when everybody else's cup was filled, mine completely dry, empty, broken. Y'all know what that feel like, don't y'all? Y'all know. Well, about 10 years ago, I went through a separation and an ugly divorce. So we probably can trade some notes on this, Queen Mika. We probably can trade some notes on this. And it was by far the most dreadful, bleak, painful, confusing, yet eye-opening and necessary moment in my life. He was happy, the children was happy. Well, let's say that they were content, all right? I won't say that they were happy, right? He was just going along to get along, maybe, I don't know, right? We had a nice single family home and had vehicles, and I helped him with his come up, his glow up. I was making really good money with a stable income. At least I thought it was stable. Then 2008 happened, the market crash. Anybody know about the housing market and how that recession and all of that took place? Yeah. And the business that I was funneling to him, it was no more. At that point, I was stripped of everything. All those titles and roles that I was mentioning before, stripped of it all, except for being a mother, of course, right? I lost my job. The marriage dissolution, I can't blame that on 2008. Y'all, I should have never got married anyway. So if I could be honest, it wasn't 2008 that caused that to be trashed. I shouldn't have gotten married anyway. It just merely highlighted the facts that I was in something that I shouldn't have been in. I felt at that point, I felt stagnant. I felt drained. I felt alone. I felt displaced, suffocated. Have you all ever been in a relationship or a marriage or a situationship and you felt like you was just going past the hell? Like, I'm not growing. I'm literally dying, y'all. I had to go. I had to go. Well, let me tell you something. The reason why I called it an eye-opening, life-changing, necessary moment, all the noise from all the things that commanded my attention, the busyness, the job, the do this, the clothes, the laundry, the house, the bills, all of those things, it got really quiet. And I had to face me. I had to deal with me and I had to focus on me because it was just me. It was just me. But Queens, that's when I found true love, because I found me. See, we've been told this ridiculous lie. I don't know why they kind of tell us it's our job to make sure everybody else is good. And admittingly, we subscribe to it, right? How many of us have subscribed to that lie that when everybody else, we start even telling ourselves, we start saying, oh, as long as everybody good, I'm good too. No, that's a lie from the pit of hell. That's not the truth. Let's be honest. Because 9 times out of 10, when they're good, what are we? Broken, lost, confused, drained, tired, unappreciated, disgusted. They didn't even say thank you, right? So that's not the truth, right? One thing that I understand about women and what we do is that when we love, when you're a woman who gives more than she takes, who cares more about others than she cares about herself, that if she serves the way that she does from a partially empty cup, what type of extraordinary, extraterrestrial type of love and support could she provide if her cup was full? What if she was whole? That's why it's my mission to make sure that women understand the importance of being fly, first loving yourself. It's not about forsaking all others. It's about prioritizing you first, so then you can go out there and save the world. Because I already know you're not going to leave your kingdom behind, your queendom behind. Queens, your health matters. Your mental stability matters. Your emotions matter. Your vulnerabilities matter. Your likes, your dislikes, they all matter. Your education, your finances, you ain't got to give everybody else and you have nothing left. Your rest, your goals, your dreams, all of that matters. If you put emphasis on these things first, everybody else can then be great. Because here's what I know. They come to you. You're the go-to person. You're the go-to. You have all the answers in the world. They come to you. They be like, Mom, my leg broke. We ain't no doctor, right? Mom, there's this thing that, and you understand what I'm saying? How the hell are we supposed to decipher that? But they expect you to know, along with everybody else in the world. They expect for you to break their code. You're the go-to. And this is why I need you to be first loving yourself, because we both can have what it is that we desire. I remember, real quick story. One time, me and my daughters, we was driving through this tunnel. We was coming from the east side of Baltimore in Maryland. And we was going through 895, the tunnel. And my daughters, these girls are something else, right? So my youngest one, they have these like interesting facts. They know these like interesting things. So my 15-year-old, she wants to be a vet. So she knows all these interesting facts about animals. And my 17-year-old, y'all, she is gifted. She is gifted. She can listen to music and she's taught herself how to play several instruments. She does origami and puzzles in a matter of moments. And my oldest one, she's in a master's degree program, very just book smart, just brilliant. And still yet, knowing all this about them, they come to me, Ma, so since we're underwater, how did they build this tunnel? How am I the hell I'm supposed to know? Y'all know what I said, right? Ask Google. How many of us get saved by Google? We don't know. That's a lot of pressure that they put on us. And what I am basically saying is the world has the same expectation of each and every one of us. The world has the expectation that we have the answers. This is why we must first love ourselves, because we need to pour into us. We need to be able to show up as the best and better version of ourselves, because the world can't do it without us, y'all. Can we be honest? They don't have this thing figured out. They really don't. But see, what we do, because we've been taught this and we have to unlearn this, and I'm glad Queen AJ pointed this out, we have to unlearn these self-imposed and external imposed behaviors and thoughts. We have to unlearn that. We got to clean that shit up out of our systems. Can I be honest? We attempt to serve people that we love from an empty cup. That's why they're getting half of us. We're doing some amazing shit at half full, right? You know, my daughter, she does dance, and one of my daughters, they call it full out. When you go in and you go ham. We are serving the world subpar. And guess what happens? At the end of the day, we get the rest. We get the rest of it. But it doesn't have to be that way. It does not have, there are studies that have literally shown how important women are to the world and to the advancement of the world. That's why self-awareness is extremely important. Self-awareness is extremely important. There's 5 pillars of fly, And I'm just going to take a few more minutes of y'all time and talk a little bit more about the self-awareness component. I was able to bounce back fairly quickly. And everything that I lost, everything that was stripped of me, everything that I gave up, y'all, because I walked the hell away from the marriage. That wasn't stripped of me. I gave that up willingly, right? I received back 100-fold. When I took time to self-reflect, I made note of how I did it. The transformation started with the same question I posed to you, Vaughn, who are you? I didn't know, so I had to dig deeper. Why was it acceptable to get into this situation? You know you shouldn't have married him, girl. See, I didn't blame him. I blamed me. And I didn't blame him. I blamed me. And I blamed me not to beat myself up, but to address the root cause. Because sometimes we want to look at everybody else, but it's us. We made some decisions, right? Can we be honest? It was our fault. Yeah, he was no good. Yeah, he could, but it's me. The answer, I really didn't love myself. I thought I did, but I really didn't. How could I? How can you love someone you don't even know? How? When we're talking about getting unstuck and fly, when we're focusing on building our self-esteem and our self-confidence, that's where we must start with self. After a while, I could no longer and didn't want to blame the church for my misfortunes. Yes, because I was in church and they told me, y'all shacking up, y'all living together, y'all need to go get married, right? I stopped blaming my upbringing for my misfortunes. Once I had gotten pregnant with our first daughter, and instead on insisting being friends or remaining friends with benefits, Queen Shamika, I'm telling you, we can have a lunch date, girl. I'm telling you that I was a hoe. Yes, retired hoe. I'm with you, right? Instead of insisting on being friends with benefits, I wanted to break generational curses in my family. I was raised in a household with 3 other siblings, and all of us had individual fathers, different fathers. And because of that experience, I decided that, hey, I wasn't going to do the same thing to my children. So I was no longer going to blame it on that even, y'all. I was going to let it all go. I had to accept responsibility. And when I did, that was the day I took back my power. Queens, how many of you need to take back your power? Stop giving your power to other people. It wasn't all butterfly and unicorns. Don't get me wrong. It was tough. But getting unstuck out of anything never is. Want to get unstuck? Start with the first pillar of fly, first loving yourself. Become self-aware. Y'all, this is what I call the identity stage. This is what Queen Shamik was talking about. Loving you, flaws and all, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, whole like, fat like, skinny like, all of that. That's the self-identity stage. At that stage, you really get intimate with who you are. The second stage of fly is self-forgiveness. Queens, we need to forgive ourselves for some stuff. We've done some ratchet stuff. Let's be honest. Okay, I'll talk about me. I did some ratchet stuff, right? I'll be honest. But I had to forgive myself of it. I've led so much with my heart. It was taken advantage of. I led too much with my mind. I didn't do things right. I led too much with my body. I led too much with my spirit. There was no balance there. So we have to learn how to forgive ourselves. That is the second pillar of fly. The forgiveness stage is what I like to call the emptying stage. You got to let that shit go. We got to let it go. An affirmation that I use is my best was good for today, but tomorrow I will do better. Y'all, the third stage is self-correcting. We need to correct some stuff. And in this stage, this is where we create boundaries and start limiting our access. Why in the hell everybody got access to your VIP section? Why? And I'm not just talking about your queenly gates. I'm talking about access to your heart, to your time, to your energy, to your money, to your soul. That's the stage I call the cleansing stage. We got to cleanse some stuff. We got to set some healthy boundaries. The fourth stage is the self-love. But this is the self-love outside of getting your nails done, hair done, everything did. Y'all know that. Okay. I had to. This is the stage where you start working on you and you start pouring into you. This is where you start embracing your flaws and all. This is where you highlight your strengths and you consider strengthening your weaknesses. We do the opposite. We highlight our weaknesses and we push away our strengths. No, this is where you accept, I don't need to be the source, but embrace being connected to other queens like here tonight and say, all I need to do is connect with other queens and be the right resource. Self-love is what I call the refilling stage. That's when you pour into you. And then the 5th stage is the self-commitment stage. Y'all, this is where you declare good, bad, ugly, and indifferent. I am going to love me. I am here. I'm telling you, this is where you say over and over and over again. Back in 2010 is when I started an organization, and I'm gonna wrap up, called Yana Fly. One of my queens I see on here tonight, she was a part of my Yana Fly organization. You're not alone, first loving yourself. I started this organization in my pain. In the middle of my pain is where I started this. And loving yourself, ING, this is a continuous commitment to yourself that you're gonna wake up and do this shit every single day. It's gonna look different tomorrow. It's gonna look different next year, next month. And guess what? You're gonna do it. You're gonna be self-aware. You're gonna take time to self-reflect. You're gonna forgive yourself. You're gonna set some new boundaries and limit access to yourself. You're going to love yourself, pouring into you unconditionally. I'm gonna close up here. Self-awareness is the first stage pillar of Fly because it starts with you. All of this starts with you. Self-confidence, self-esteem, getting unstuck. If you don't know who you are, how are you gonna ask people to love you? How are you gonna tell them what it is that you need from them and what it is you will not gonna accept from them? Because you still have to find that out. You still have to say it without a shadow of a doubt. It's not working. Some of the things that you all are attempting to do, you keep figuring out, why can't I break this self-limiting belief and behavior? It's not working. It's only temporary because you truly have not embraced who you are at your core. Answering this question, who am I? No noise, no TV, no distraction. Tell the kids to go figure that shit out themselves. Cook some oodles and noodles tonight. Make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Mama need to rest. Tell honey not tonight. Not tonight. Take time to discover you, because the answer, the healing of generations is going to come by way of you. When we find out who we are and embrace that and understand that, that's where your passion is. That's where your purpose is. That is where everything lies. Y'all, I want to leave you with this last affirmation as you're going through the process. Be patient, but persistent. Remembering it's a process, celebrating your progress. Be patient, but persistent. Remembering it's a process, celebrating your progress. It's your positive perspective statement. You have to do all 4. It's going to take your patience, but you can't just be patient. You got to be persistent. You got to push through, because nobody's going to give it to you. But you got to remember it's a process. The goals, every time we reach a goal, we set a new one. That's not where the treasure lies. It's in the process. That's where your strength lies. That's where who you are, discovering who you are, it's in the process. But queens, don't forget to celebrate your progress. It's going to help encourage you. It's going to help you keep looking forward for tomorrow. Be patient, but persistent. Remembering it's a process, celebrating the progress. Y'all, I love you. Thank you so much for this time. I pray that something was shared and said that will help you get unstuck and fly. If you ask me, who am I? I'm ambitious. I am bold. I'm confident. I am deserving. I am educated. I am fly. And by the way, my name is John Vuana Evans. I go by Life Coach Vaughn, a life coach who is very passionate and unapologetic about helping you strategically discover and be whoever the hell you want to be, because that's what the world is missing. Thank y'all.
Yes, y'all don't know how moved I am tonight. Y'all, this is Black History Month. Let's talk about it, right? This is Black History Month, and I created the Unstuck series along with Takesha and Shamika, Women Trapped in Insecurities and the Strength Within, and my platform is Sisters with the Agenda, because I believe that these spaces are necessary. A lot of the things that I do is fuel from what I need, and this is what I needed today in this moment. When this weekend was hard, everything you ladies touched on was definitely from the marriage to, you know, the titles to the my cup being half full. But I had to remind myself, you know, I cannot serve if I am not comfortable with myself. So the Unstuck series was necessary for me this year, and I knew it was necessary for other women this year, coming out of the pandemic, struggling with mental health, struggling with the responsibilities of life, learning who you are, being comfortable in your skin, being comfortable with your past, learning to forgive yourself. But I do not always have the answers, but I know amongst the village, the answers are here. So I know I'm walking away with my cup full. And I say, even with my guest speakers, I want you all to walk away with your cup full. That's why it is a panel of people that sit at this table to fill our cups up so that we can continue to level up personally and professionally throughout this journey, but being able to check in, right? It was such a coincidence that God put my struggle right before this week when it got real hard, from my grief to my marriage to my own self-esteem, just stepping into new places and growing and leveling up and sitting at the table with certain people. And I'm like, y'all want to sit with me? You know, y'all want to come on my platform? Oh, y'all want to connect with me? And you know, my sister Takesha always say, we taking flights, we hitting red carpets. And sometimes I have to believe that it's true, even though I know my strength and I know who I am and I know what I'm worthy of. I need these moments to check in, to affirm myself and remind myself. So as Coach Vine ended, I'm celebrating today that on Saturday, I used my self-accountability. I tapped into my self-love. I tapped into my strength within, and even in my relationship, I was able to allow my husband to see that while affirming him in the moment, and us just having that breakthrough together. Because sometimes in a relationship, you're unable to see each other, but I had to tell him why I didn't see him and that I needed to see myself first. And Sisters with the Agenda is my coping mechanism, as all of these things that we're doing to stay sane and to stay focused and to affirm myself every day, to keep my self-esteem up. So for me, these spaces are necessary, and you all ladies completed the assignment today, especially in this Black History Month. So this is history for me today that will stick with me in the legacy. Y'all in the chat, just everybody sharing, all of the guest speakers, y'all hit everything on the nail, starting with Takesha. And now we are going to end with Naima, and she is going to give us our closeout activities. But before we do that, I do just want to give a couple reminders of some of the things that I want you all to challenge yourself until we meet again. So Takesha wants you to, what do you like about yourself? So writing down 5 things that you like about yourself. 5 things that you like about yourself. Takesha, whose world is this? Or are you coming to somebody else's world to visit? Taking every negative and turning it into a positive. I know that is something that we use with my kids all the time. Coach Vine, who are you and who am I? Those 2 questions. Who are you? Who am I? Right? Outside. And this is something I do with my guests when I talk about the personal and the professional level up, because a lot of times people stay in that professional lane, and it's never the personal, where they talk about their mission for their self and where they want to go and where they see their self and who they are. So y'all touched on everything. And then definitely those 5 commitments, the self-awareness, the self-forgiveness, the self-correction, the self-love, and the self-commitment, because we want to walk away with tools and resources to be able to cope and stay unstuck until we meet again. Our next month, we do not have a set topic. We just want to tap in. We will have some guest speakers, some poets coming to join the conversation, but just talking about getting unstuck in general. So we didn't want to limit to one topic. It's more just checking in and like opening the dialogue and open up the space. So I hope you all come and join us next month. You do not have to sign up again. You will get the invite regardless. And definitely it's so crazy how we were talking about the word hope today, because I work with children, and I had a young man in front of me whose father passed away, and he's going through a lot. And he was talking, and I said, you know, have you thought about what we talked about yesterday? And he said, yeah, I want to do better, and I'm trying not to be myself. And I said, don't say that, because the things that you're going through and the things that you did not define me. And I said, if I said to myself that I am a hoe and I could remain a hoe, I wouldn't be a wife that I am today. So it was just funny that I said that to my students today, and that y'all talking about it, because you know, when you think back on your life and you think back of some of the things that you regret, sometimes you put those labels on yourself and you can't remove them and remove it from your mindset to be able to grow. And that's what we want to do, is start to shift the narrative and affirm ourselves that we can be anything we set ourselves up to be. And those things in those moments that happen do not define who we are. So I'm going to turn it over to Naima. Again, I want to thank all my guest speakers for coming to join, and all of you ladies for taking this time out tonight. Good evening, Naima.
Good evening, ladies. I know it's late. And so I am not going to give like a long speech or anything. It was my intention to talk, but before leading us into this activity, but I just want to be respectful of people's time. And I want to do an activity that kind of honors our speakers, that honors ourselves. There was so many jewels and gems dropped, like just for the time that I was able to join. I was actually in class from 6 to 9. So I was kind of multitasking while I was listening. But there was a lot of things that all of the speakers said that resonated with my spirit. And I teach mindfulness meditation. So part of my practice of being unstuck is teaching other people and living a lifestyle of myself where I'm going within. So that practice of going within just allows me to reset. It allows me to cleanse my energy. It allows me to kind of open up and realign my chakras. So anyone that's interested in mindfulness meditation, which is all scientific based, I don't teach any religious based meditation. I'll leave my information in the chat, and you can follow me and check out some meditations that I lead. So I'm going to lead us in a meditation. And one thing that I will say is a lot of people think that meditation is just trying to sit still and not think about anything. And meditation is actually the exact opposite. It is a way to tap in and train your mind to really be present and to think about one thing at a time. I don't even want to get into manifestation, but part of manifesting the things that you want is really zoning in and getting on the right frequency that you feel like God, whoever you serve, would have you be on. Manifestation is really about getting on that frequency. And so you're not even trying to force what is supposed to come into your life. Once you're operating in the right frequency, it is drawn to you anyway. So I'm going to actually have us do an activity where we are bridging the mind and the body, because that's what meditation is. It's going into the body and checking in on yourself and seeing how you're doing. And so we're going to do that right now. So I'm going to, be open with me if you've never meditated before, and just join in with me. So we're actually going to stand. I know everyone has been sitting for the last 2 hours. And so I'm going to defy what some people think is meditation. Instead of sitting, we're actually going to stand. I'm going to readjust my camera. You're not going to be able to see me anyway, because I'm going to have you close your eyes. So I want you to just stand in a very comfortable position for yourself. I want you to feel that your feet are firmly planted into the ground, I want you to feel that this is a moment to honor yourself and to honor the things that you heard tonight. Meditation is a vehicle for us to hear the voice. For you, it may be the voice of God. It might be your gut. It might be the universe speaking. Whoever that voice is to you, meditation is a way for us to listen intently. And so I just want you to take this moment to be silent and still. I want you to take a deep breath in and just have a moment of gratitude that we even have this breath. And we'll use the breath to ground us and to honor this moment. I want you to just think about how your body feels in this moment. If there's any part of your body that feels tense, just tell it to relax. Tell your shoulders to relax. Tell your lower back to relax. Your buttocks might feel tight. Just release it and loosen it up. Spread your toes on your carpet or wherever you're standing. And allow your feet to just sink into the foundation on which it stands. Feel your body. Feel the lightness or the heaviness. Whatever you feel, just accept it. I want you to just imagine that there is a bright, shining light hovering over you. And that light is present to lift any burdens that you may have felt throughout the week, that you may have felt today. Allow that light to just sift any heaviness you feel. Just envision that that light is sifting, drawing out any negative energy in your body. And if your mind just wanders from my voice, just tell your mind to come right back to the activity. That's okay. That's part of meditation. As you're conscious about the breath, breathing in and out, you're feeling that light shining above you. And you're imagining that your body is becoming lighter as any negative energy has been released. And let's take a moment to think about what was said tonight. I want you to think through anything that penetrated your spirit, that resonated with you, that made you smile, that made you feel unstuck. What was that one word or what was that one phrase? As you have that one word or one phrase on your heart, I want you to just slightly take your body and lean gently into that word. I want you to actually physically lean in, not to the point where you fall, but just a slight lean. We're going to use our body to reverence the word, that resonated with you. Just physically lean into it. You're thinking about that word. This is a physical act that you are going to take action on the words that resonated with you tonight. Just hold that lean as long as you can. Think about that word. Just leaning slightly forward. Now you can come back to straighten your back, relax your legs, relax your feet. Still having that word in your presence and on your heart. Take this moment right now. You've already physically leaned into it. Now I want you to mentally say, make a commitment to how you're going to live out that word. How are you going to live that out tomorrow? Set that intention. I heard the word grace tonight. Give yourself grace. How will you live that out tomorrow? I heard the word forgiveness tonight. Make a commitment to forgive yourself for that thing that you did years ago. You might be holding yourself accountable for a mistake your child made. Now we're going to end with placing our awareness back on our breath. And in agreement to being unstuck in our lives, we're going to end our meditation with a smile. We may open our eyes and come to. Now you can sit and relax. So I hope that you ladies kind of understand that meditation isn't just one dimensional. You know, meditation is a physical act to bring the mind and the body together. So feel free on your lunch break. You know, you might only have a minute. If it's just a minute to choose an intention for yourself, that intention could be anything. It could be, I just want to feel peace in this moment, or, you know, whatever it is, you set that intention and you just hold it and breathe. So if it's a minute in your car before you run in the house and deal with your kids, you got to cook dinner, you got your to-do list. If it's in the morning before you go into work, if it's laying in bed before you start your day, set your intention, take a moment to just breathe it in your body, and then release yourself to walk in it. So hopefully that was helpful as our final activity of the night. Thank you so much for hanging in there with